Darkritician!
Hey YouTube, Darkritician84 here, and it is time, once again, for another Minor League pre-tournament vlog. Yes, I have decided to come back to them. Now, after the bullshit that happened last month, I did decide I didn't want to do them anymore, because, well, Ash Blossom exists, and too many unchilled decks keep being brought in and played, which kind of ruins it for everyone else, along with the fact that it felt like any concerns and requests to get certain cards and decks banned just got blanked and disregarded, which really bothered me. However, I was then convinced to talk with Jack and John about this, and I think we've resolved these issues now. The so-called unchilled decks that I talked about are no longer permitted to be played in minor league tournaments. So yeah, that's one issue sorted. Although I heard that in the tournament last week, Infernities were being played, and that concerns me, because Infernities, like at full power or almost full power, are not chilled in any way whatsoever. I mean, Launcher is an OTK enabler, and Barrier makes it so that I can't play the game, basically. And even though Launcher got limited back in September 2010, it didn't make a difference. Infernities were still ridiculously overpowered and just did too much to stop anyone from playing the game, all the way up to the point where Infernity Barrier got limited on the April 2014 list. And I was so happy when that went to 1, and happier when Archfiend went to 1. But even with just Barrier limited, that was enough to neutralise them, and with this change I no longer had a reason to hate Infernities. I mean, yeah, despite hating on decks that I hate, it is nice when they get a hit on the ban list, which basically makes it so it can't do anything to stop someone playing, and by that point there's no longer a reason for me to hate them. Of course, I wasn't too happy when Barrier went back to 3, but I like to think that as long as Archfiend was limited, it was fine, but obviously on the latest ban list, it went to 3, and it was like, great. So, yeah. You watch, Infernities are just going to see a lot of competitive play again, and it really is going to be like 2000, the second half of 2010 all the way up to April 2014 all over again, where it just OTKs or uses Barrier to stop anyone playing. That's going to be frustrating. And if they're going to see play in the minor league, I need to think of a way to specifically counter it so that it can't stop me from being able to play. Not quite sure what I could do, but yeah, maybe I should just use Raw Decree again and see if I have a chance to flip it up and make Barrier useless. It worked when I used Rainbow Neos and Legendary Hero against it, but I don't know. Might not work for tonight though, because of the deck I'm using, which I'll talk about in a bit. So, I don't know. And as for Ash Blossom, well, I did make the request to have it banned, or at least have 3 copies of Called by the Grave, just to specifically counter it. And then an agreement was made to put Called by the Grave back to 3. So, yeah, that is a recent change. So obviously on the proper ban list, it's still limited, but in the minor league we can play 3 called bys. Although I may not have thought this through, because now I'm worried that I've inadvertently opened another can of worms. Now, while this does increase the chances of stopping Ash, I'm now worried that if I use Dark Magician, it's going to be more susceptible to being banished, and you know how much I hate my Dark Magician getting banished. Especially my original copy. I probably shouldn't really be too bothered if my other 2 copies get banished. I don't think that would annoy me as my original getting banished. You know, banishing him is just unforgivable. So, what I'm hoping for is maybe me and the others can make a gentleman's agreement to only use Called By on hand traps rather than epic boss monsters. But we shall see. I mean, I would have preferably liked Ash to be banned, but I suppose that having 3 Called Bys will do. I mean, yeah, Ash is a great card, and it has been argued that it does stop, you know, combo decks, OTK decks, and FTK decks. I mean, that is true, but not everyone plays those decks. Like, especially not in the minor league. I mean, meta isn't even allowed, and Ash is a card that was designed to specifically stop meta. Not everyone plays meta. And it's like I said, I feel like whenever someone uses Ash on me, I feel like I'm being punished for a crime that the meta committed while I didn't. I don't know. I have to just keep trying to get Ash banned. Maybe if I rant about it enough, then it'll happen, but otherwise, in addition to Called By, I'm going to have to run my 3 Ghost Bells to specifically stop Called By the Grave being used on Dark Magician. Which is kind of annoying, because those 6 cards are taking up space. But anyway, as for what I'm playing tonight, yeah, we're in almost 10 minutes into this, and I haven't said what I'm going to be playing. I'm going to be playing Dark Magician Ritual Mode, or Magician of Chaos. Now, originally I was going to use my Elemental Hero deck, because that's the only one of my 5 decks that I haven't used in a minor league tournament. What am I going to say? However, because it's Dark January and I'm celebrating 20 years since I started playing Dark Magician, I want to have some Dark Magician fun. So, yeah, the plan for tonight is to play Magician of Chaos. Then next week I'll play Dark Magician Kaiju mode, and in 2 weeks' time I'll go back to playing pure Dark Magician. And then in 3 weeks' time I will finally use my Elemental Hero deck, just so all of my decks have had a go. Yeah, I'm not sure how well I'll do tonight. The problem with ritual decks is they can brick. And since I'm playing 3 copies each of Core Buy and Ghost Bell, I'm worried that I haven't left myself enough room to play other cards. But then again, that's, I guess, my own fault for suggesting we have 3 called buys. It's typical, really. Like, for over 3 years I've been complaining that called buy was at 1 and just begging Konami to put it back to 3 just to counter Ash Blossom. But I didn't think through how this would affect my Dark Magician deck. I should have just stuck with Prohibition. I mean, that was the next best thing, and a cheaper alternative to Triple Tactics Talents and Crossout Designator. Of course, Talents isn't legal in the minor league, but that's not the point. I should have just stuck with that. I mean, at least that way, with 1 called buy and 3 prohibitions, that's 4 ways to stop Ash Blossom. Right, sure, it could be, a prohibition could be popped by MST, Twin Twisters, or Harpy's Feather Duster, but that's a waste, to be honest. I mean, if those get used, then there'll be nothing to get rid of other back row I have. Alright, yes, I know Duster wipes out all back row, but that's not the point here. Anyway, yeah. Magician of Chaos is what I'm using tonight. I'm not sure how well I'll do, but I'm not really bothered, to be honest. I just want to have some fun, which is meant to be the whole point of the minor league anyway. Plus, you know, I've managed to eventually win things with my Magician Girls and my Cats other than a Royal Rumble, so I'm not too worried about really trying to win minor league tournaments anymore. Doesn't matter if I win or lose, as long as I can have a chance to do something and play the game and have fun. That's all I care about. And I am going to have some fun with this version of Dark Magician, because it's still January, and it's still Dark January, so yeah, let's just have some fun tonight. That's what she said. Okay, that's pretty much it, so stay tuned for some tournament games. Catch you later. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Dark Magician YouTube channel.